Hello, YouTubers, Raven here.
When I guess.
When I guess.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so we just did the review for seasons 1 and 2 of Wynonna, and now we are doing the premiere episode, which is season 3, episode 1, and it is called, let me check in this really quickly, sorry.
Called season 3, episode 1.
It is called Blood Red and Going Down.
So, in this one, there was, I did have issues with it, but let's start out.
I mean, I had issues with it too because I felt like everything was kind of all over the place.
Yes.
And we didn't really understand what was happening. And hopefully that will change and we will start to understand within the upcoming episodes because that was like a big hot mess of everything.
Hot mess. It was a hot mess.
I just don't feel like the beginning of this like followed along the storyline of the last season at all. I just feel like it was, we don't know what to do, so we're gonna randomly do this now.
Right, and they just brought vampires into purgatory. Like, what the heck does that have anything to do with what was going on?
And they try to create an old relationship with Doc and whatever the hell her name was with a C.
Well, I think that was one of the prostitutes that he was banging back in. Yeah, I think we saw her in the time travel.
I don't even remember what episode we saw her in, honestly. But
it was one of the episodes that showed Doc's past.
Okay, well, whatever. Yeah. But anyway,
probably one of the prostitutes in the bed when Wyatt walked in and yelled at him.
But anyway, bringing vampires into purgatory made no sense in continuing with what the storyline was from season 2.
Yeah.
And now they have to deal with that, plus having to deal with Balshar, whatever the crap his name is.
Clooty.
Yeah, so they have to deal with 2 things now, which is making it even more complicated.
Well, they destroyed all but one vampire, so they don't really have to deal with vampires anymore.
Yeah, he's probably dead now.
Well, at the end, Clooty gave him a seed in his mouth. Whatever the hell.
I thought it was gonna be like one of those bugs, like from the Mummy, that like go inside of you.
The scarab beetles?
And like eat you from the inside out.
Yeah.
That's what I thought was happening.
Yeah, I didn't know what that was. I was like, what?
It kind of looked like the seed, like a seed from like. That's Power Rangers. Okay. If you guys are Wild Forest fans, then you know what I'm the heart of the org.
But anyway, yeah, so they're probably mostly dead and they don't have to deal with that threat. But at the same time, there was just a lot of things that were really confusing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for most of it, we were all lost and didn't really understand what was going on.
Yeah. I kind of found it boring because I didn't understand.
Yeah, but I do like the fact that her mom is played by somebody that I'm familiar with. So.
Yeah, for anybody who is keeping up with Anne with an E, you know that it's based off of Anne of Green Gables, which is based on the books.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and she played Anne in the original movies back in the 80s.
Yep. Very, very good. I love those movies.
Me too.
But yeah, and I just feel like, again, what we talked about in the last review, I just feel like Officer Hot and Waverly's relationship was like full throttle at the beginning of the season, and I know that they love each other and I'm like so down for that, but at the same time it's like I just feel like it was out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Because it was strong before, but this strong, I'm like, what? Did the divorce fall through?
Mm-hmm.
Did they realize their differences and decide what the hell?
Yeah.
Like, why was the divorce a big deal anyway? Officer Hot should be like, well, you were dating a dude before you dated me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if they really want to bring issues into light.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I feel like they need to have a little bit more communication with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because,
that's always been the issue.
Yeah, because they have, like, a really great connection in this episode. Like, I loved seeing them together like this, but my thought process is, I want to know how they got here.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what happened that brought them so close together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were on fire.
They were.
We want to know what made that fire catch.
And I do like Waverly's hair.
They were, you know.
I think she's working the bangs. I think she's got the bangs working for her.
I don't like her bangs.
I think she made it look really cute when they were in the bathroom and she had it pulled back a little bit and the bangs were like on the side of her face. I thought that looked really pretty.
I think that she can like definitely pull off disco looks.
Yeah.
And a lot of people can't do
like,
that.
I feel like she can pull off that kind of bohemian, like 70s like esque look.
I think what I really just didn't like was the first shot when we see her on the rooftop. That hair was ugly as hell.
It did look weird not seeing.
I just really like Waverly a lot.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's one of my favorite characters, but that's because she's, like, you guys are familiar with Supernatural, so she's kind of like the Sam in regards to research, but she is like Dean in terms of I'm going to get shit done. She doesn't rely on somebody to do all the work for her. Right. She has Wynonna, but she's not like, hey, come bail me out. She's like, I got this, and if something bad happens, sure, she knows she'll be rescued, but still, I love Waverly. She is definitely like a woman of her own. She kicks ass, takes names, she doesn't take shit from anybody.
Yeah. And she can apparently fire a gun like that with hardly any light with the scope. And when we have no history of seeing her do that, but hey, you barely shot a gun in any of the other seasons. Let's go with this.
What's with Jeremy and him trying to emulate Doc? Like,
oh, right.
Seriously.
So, like, before we hit the Jeremy note, I feel like I keep waiting for Waverly to have some kind of, like, magical power out of nowhere. Yes. Because she, like, has this Earpy, that sounds so weird.
This Earpy
Revenant vibe going on. And I want to know, like, which one takes root the most, if even she has both. Maybe she just has Revenant. And, like, I want to see what it does. Because, I mean, like, yeah, change mask, make things happen, be all evil. That's not really, like, a power. So I want to see what she's capable of. Now back to Jeremy. Okay, out of everything, that mustache is definitely not something that you want to add to your everyday thing.
No.
Like, I can understand the trend of people wanting mustaches. They're bringing it back. They like twisting it, doing whatever the hell they like to. But you know what? I hate to break it to you. It's... No. Yeah.
I mean, some can pull it off and some can. He definitely can. And I mean, plus, I feel like he's just funny, and he's just kind of one of those dorky, like, awkward science guys that's like, I don't know, he just adds to it. And I think that you need that element of what he brings to the show.
You do, but also think about this, like, when he's, like, the vampire who glamored him died, his first thing is, oh, I thought he really liked me. Like, he's so desperate to be friends with anybody. He's willing to give him attention. Even when he's not glamored anymore, he's like, I really would have been his friend. And you're just like, no, Jeremy. No, he would have drained you dry. Right? He's a friend until you have nothing left to give.
Yeah.
Yes.
Literally.
Pretty much.
Quite literally.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that confused me the most was the end. How season 2 ended was Wynonna and her mom were on the cliff face talking.
But you didn't see her mom's face.
Right. But now she's
randomly in lockup.
Yeah.
That's why I was so
Maybe that
confused.
was part of their plan. But no, see, like,
but now she's mad at Wynonna.
Well, that or she just, like, thinks that maybe she's mad because of the baby thing. Maybe she knows that the baby's, like, a key to something, to, like, saving something, and, like, now that it's gone, it's like, how dare you?
Well, I mean, we saw in, like, what's coming up.
Maybe she didn't say Willa, so she's angry. She found out.
We saw in what's coming up for this season that, like, you know, Wynonna told her that her mom abandoned her, so she probably has a lot of issues, like, abandonment issues and things like that with it, but she still wants to, like, get information from her and things like that.
Right.
But her mom, you know, is, like, in a psych facility or whatever she's in, and she doesn't want to get out and all that.
Yeah, but that's not what's confusing me.
What's confusing you is the fact that she's even there in the first place, right?
Yes, because we saw her and her voluptuous locks on the ending of season 2. We get to season 1, she's got, like...
Yeah, but I'm sure they're going to explain that as it goes on.
Like, no hair. I mean,
they kind of
really
they put random things at ends of season sometimes and make things a little confusing, but then they explain it in the next season as it goes on.
Yeah, but I just... I don't know, like, I don't think that's something that you should have skipped. Like, it makes no sense, and to have an entire episode that doesn't make sense, you should have at least had one thing that does.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I just don't think the whole episode made sense. I just thought it was like, what random crap can we throw together to create something that will continue the story.
Right.
Like, I don't think it was a bad episode. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. I loved it. I definitely can't wait for the next one.
Yeah.
But I want to know how things got here, why they are the way they are, and how, like I just said, the relationships are stronger. Why there's confliction between people where there shouldn't be, because things left off in a pretty obvious manner in the last season. So,
I mean, Wynonna was still kind of giving dolls the maybe thing towards the end of last season, and so it's confusing for me. Which, like,
but the thing that he's still holding on, like, she had a baby with somebody, like.
Yeah, but then while she was pregnant, he was with Rosita. And she was dolls.
I mean, even though, like, she had a baby with Doc, who's to say that he's necessarily going to be faithful or not?
Yeah, but then, like, even think about it this way. She still loves him because at the beginning of this episode, when they're, like, fighting in the barn for training, she said, like, he only touches me when he's angry or training, so I make sure that I keep him training and angry. So she wants that.
Yeah, she does.
Which is why at the end, when he kisses her in the bar.
Yeah, like, it finally felt like something was finally just solid.
I mean, I honestly, at this point, don't care who it is, like, between the two of them. I just want her to make up her mind.
Yeah. Like, if she's gonna get with Doc this season, then have her get with and stay with Doc.
Exactly.
Like,
oh no, because there's this element that draws people in with love triangles, which is why we have things like the Hunger Games and Divergent.
Yeah, but love triangles are
Twilight
used all the time, so sometimes they can get really old.
Yeah, but it keeps people going. It's just like the element of, like, say our characters never did anything. Like, they might have kissed or made out, but they've never gone all the way. Well, that will keep you watching. And that will keep you reading, just like in Twilight, because it makes you want that. You want to see if that will happen. And when it happens, and then you read stuff like Breaking Dawn, the last book, suddenly your interest isn't as, like, peaked as it was before. Why? You got what you wanted. And unless something new and more exciting comes along, what's going to hold your interest?
Right. Yeah.
So it's just one of those things. We always want what we can't have.
I mean,
and once
who
we
knows?
get it, we sometimes take it for
I just don't want it to be every other season she's with the opposite guy.
They might even bring somebody else for her to another guy in that she.
As long as she doesn't get with Jeremy, I'm fine. And it's not every other.
I was gonna say
every guy
every other with Jeremy. I mean, he does have the stash going on. She seems to really be into that.
To really like that.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine why, but. No offense to any of you who have stashes. I'm sure you're awesome and you insert that shit in contests and stuff. But you know what? Like, there's a certain kind that when ladies look at it, their first thought is, how would that feel if that was anywhere on me? And if the answer is no, then, yeah.
You'd be shitting that
just
thing
not
off.
gonna happen.
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't have said that.
It's alright.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, generally, it's just... I keep wanting to say something about this episode, but then finding nothing to say.
I mean, I thought they looked cool when they were glammed up. Especially Nicole. She looked she looked like a retro, vintage, classic actress.
She was really
looked beautiful.
She was so gorgeous.
I loved her hair.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I mean... It happened because of the friggin' vampires, so...
There's nothing wrong with that. Vampires
No.
bring out the best of us.
I know.
By glamoring us and making us do exactly what they want.
You know...
Unless you're Jeremy.
And then he just wants attention.
Yeah.
I don't like redheads at all, whether they, like, whether it's a bottle red or born red. Like, it's just not attractive to me. Like, I don't. But my favorite character on this show, the one I loved the most, is Nicole. And it makes no sense to me.
So you know what I'm gonna do now, just to like be the skanky person. So you didn't like Black Widow?
I like her as a character,
Mary
but
Jane.
You don't
I don't
like ScarJo?
I like her as a character, but and a person.
I know.
But like just
messing.
it does nothing for me.
Wow.
What about Deborah Ann Wall from True Blood?
What about Amy Adams or?
Nope. I mean, like I'll watch their stuff or whatever, but I just generally I don't like it. It's not something that appeals to me.
I like redheaded women, but not redheaded men.
I don't like either.
No offense to
No,
anybody.
no,
it's
I
not
agree
that I
with
think
that.
that you're ugly. I just personally, for hair colors, I like darker hair on men. For women, it's more versatile. I like seeing them with like more vibrant colors because nowadays, I mean, a long time ago when I was younger, everyone seemed to be blonde.
Right.
But now that I'm older, I feel like it's so hard to find people with red hair, blonde hair, variations. I feel like a lot of people have darker hair.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's different.
Right.
It's like if people just dye their hair randomly too. Like, I love seeing that kind of stuff. Yeah, blue hair, cool, but that's becoming a trend now.
I like when it's like the auburny, like dark, kind of like a reddish brown. I think that's
Yeah.
really pretty.
I mean, I go back and forth between dyeing my hair like every single year, and I just don't. It never happens. But I would love to have like a red, blonde, fiery ombre thing going on. So when the black light touches it, it looks like fire. That'd be cool. But no. Nope.
But yeah, I don't know why. I just felt like that's something I would say, so I said it.
Well, now we're just talking about
Red hair.
things. Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean,
Just makes me think of Anna Green Gables again because we were talking about.
She's so
Megan
pretty.
Carlos.
Her red hair.
She is. She's really. She's so sweet.
She's just a beautiful child.
It's such a happy show, guys. If you're ever feeling down, turn that on. It'll give you the most like optimism you'll ever have in your life. It'll make you feel like you can do anything. It's just.
so what did you guys think finally when we saw like the guy that was at the bar, the Pussy Willows
Shore. Oh, Pussy Willows.
That's why we said Willow in the other video, by the way.
Okay.
Because the bar was called Pussy Willows.
Yes.
See, when I hear that, I just think of
Buffy.
No, I think they're a flower, and so I heard of not pussy. I don't know.
No, Pussy Willows are they're little stems that come.
Oh, okay. Because like in My Favorite Things in The Sound of Music, like when she's asking them, different things that are their favorite things, one of the children says Pussy Willow.
I never heard that.
And so
really,
so that's what it reminded me of. It reminded me of that. Not
they go by
anything
a
else.
different name too. So.
Well, the guy that made that bloody handprint, like we finally saw him and he was standing next to Clooney.
You know what Clooney reminded me of? Freaking Freddy Krueger.
Oh, that just reminds me.
I'm not gonna say it doesn't.
I mean, he had the hat and his face looked all like Freddy Krueger's. I mean, all he needed was the sharp claws and it would be Freddy Krueger.
Now I'm picturing Dead by Daylight.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
I'm sorry. I just...
No, but he does. He has, like, the scars and everything.
Yeah, like, so, I don't know, like, something about that moment, the reveal,
Yeah.
it felt hollow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know. I was expecting more of, like, an impact. Like, it didn't seem like a reveal to me. It was
Right.
more like, here you go, here's some extra information.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
Some random extra information that we still don't know that much about because the season just started.
Right.
So maybe more will be explained in the next episode.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
I think
Hopefully
they should have
what they
waited
said
to
next
reveal
time-
his face.
Hopefully what they said with the next time is just what's going to be in next week's episode, not through the whole season.
I think, because they showed a lot that wouldn't make sense to put all in one episode.
Yeah, that's true.
Because if they did that, like how I was talking about
Because when they advertised it, they said next time on Wynonna Earp.
Yeah. But, like, if they do all that in one episode, then how I was talking about the Outpost and how they took too long to do things, then that would be too short, and there's no time for story.
Right. I just like the fact that the actor that plays her mom is going to be on it for more than one episode.
Mm.
Because I think that we need to see that story kind of fleshed out and kind of learn more about her mom and Wynonna's relationship with her mom in order to understand why she's in the situation that she's currently in.
Right.
And the fact that she yet again kept another secret from Waverly.
Right.
Yeah, that she
like,
that she's connected to Clooney somehow.
Waverly, like, she doesn't get to know anything ever. She's always in the dark. I feel so bad for her. And she's probably going to be the key for everything, just like I said the baby was.
Probably.
But it's probably going to be Waverly. Because she'll be the one who can walk that line that they need between good and evil.
Right. Yeah. Because she's got a mix of both.
And what about the reveal at the end about Nicole? Like, her and Dolls are going back over the crime scene at the Pussy Willow, and she's like, yeah, this is, I mean, I forget the name they use for him, but Clooney.
Balshar, whatever his name is.
Like,
I think it's Balshar.
I think this is from the cult and blah blah blah, right? They were talking about that. Yeah, and she's like, they were talking about how there's like never been a survivor, and she's like, I think there was.
It was me.
Yeah.
It was me. And I was like, I don't know. What was your guys' reaction?
I think this episode was basically just to set up all of that. I think it was basically just to set up everything that they're planning on explaining more of in the coming episodes of the season. And yeah, it was confusing and yeah, it was random, but I think that we're going to have our answers.
I think that this season is going to revolve around Nicole a lot more than the others have.
Yeah.
And I'm excited about
And I
that.
think it's going to revolve a lot around Wynonna and her mom, too.
Yeah. But I think that if they're saying they don't know that there's ever been a survivor, and then Nicole's like, I think I might have been one, and Wynonna's mom has history with the cult of Bolshar, like, she has history with the name Bolshar, then I'm thinking that maybe she was either part of the cult at some point, or she might have been a survivor as well.
Probably.
And
that's why she said that.
Right, which is, so that's probably like a connection they're going to bring in between Nicole and the mom.
Yeah, probably.
And if Nicole was part of it, I can understand why she has chosen to forget. Because of the traumatic experience, and it's probably in childhood.
Yeah.
Since she's not too old.
I mean, I think we're just gonna like learn a little bit more about Nicole, learn a little bit more about the mom, and learn a little bit more about like Waverly and Wynonna and everyone. This was just setting up everything.
Yeah. I think this is gonna be. I know it's a female-centric show, but we've concentrated a lot on Doc and Dolls the
Which
past couple seasons.
Which I think is interesting because I think the graphic novel that the show is based on is actually written by a man. Because it says at the beginning that it's based on the graphic novel by Beau Smith. So, yeah.
Well, like the past couple seasons have done a lot of concentrating on Dolls and Doc.
Yeah, so I think this season's going to be more about the females.
Right, and it's kind of odd. I mean, not. Since it's written by a man, I mean, generally speaking.
Well, the show was created by a woman.
Yeah, I know.
But the graphic novel wasn't.
Exactly. So they're taking story from that. So
with a gender neutral name, though.
Maybe. Yeah, that's true. It could be a woman.
I saw a panel.
I honestly don't know anything about like the comics or any of that stuff about Wynonna.
I saw a panel, and I'm pretty
just
sure
seen the show, and that's
that it was a dude on the panel that claimed to be the writer. I don't know. It's been a couple months.
But anyway, I think this season's definitely going to focus more on the females, so we're going to see more of that going into
I feel like we've learned all we needed to learn about the guys.
Yeah. At
Except
least
for Jeremy.
going forward.
We know almost nothing about Jeremy.
But yeah, I mean, we've learned a lot about Doc and we've learned a lot about dolls, so it's time for them to focus on the females.
Yes.
But that's like the iceberg effect. Like, how much do we really know about them?
That's true.
And then it just makes you guess more. If that's the case with them, and you have so much information, then what is there to learn about the girls?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm really excited.
Mm-hmm.
I might not have liked that this episode didn't really follow too well with the previous seasons and the way that they connected and transitioned, but I really, really like how they're starting it. I can't wait to see how the plots unfold. I like how they've laid this foundation out.
Right.
And it's just really interesting.
I'm excited too.
Yeah.
I'm glad that it got another season. You know, I'm glad that we're getting to see more of it because, you know, the first 2 seasons were great, but I think that this season's going to be even better. So, yeah.
I'm excited.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm very excited to see how the rest of the season unfolds.
I can talk about these episodes forever just because I feel like there's so much hidden within everything that or we just all have very active imaginations and we have so many theories.
Well, being a Doctor Who fan, I have to. Because I have to keep up.
I'm not a fan.
But, I mean, do you guys have anything else to add?
Doctor Who's amazing.
Yes, it is.
I saw the old ones in a library in Sarasota, Florida with my friend Bridget.
I know about it.
Yeah.
And
They were
I've seen
black and white.
clips and things, but
Yeah.
she wants me to
Those
see
are
it because the new Doctor is basically like a reboot again.
I mean, it's not a reboot, but it's just like...
That's what you called it.
Well, it's a soft reboot. Everything's the same, but they're not using past storylines to connect to this. It's the jumping on point for new people.
See, I feel like we should just do reviews on remakes because that's an issue that I have right now. I'm not like upset over the remakes, but I do wonder why there's so many. Like, is Hollywood running out of ideas? What's going on? Because, I mean, Hocus Pocus, Charmed, Fuller House, there's so many.
Buffy.
Yeah, there's so many. It's like they're revamping our whole entire childhood. But here's the thing. Instead of getting actors who portray the roles the way that we're used to seeing them, they're getting all these really, really young kids and having them be like that preppy, oh my god, I'm from the Disney Channel vibe.
Right.
And you're just like, I can't take this story seriously because their acting seems fake. And I don't mean that in a terrible way. It's just that once you get connected to these stories growing up with them and you fall in love with them and the characters, it's really, really hard to not only allow something new to come in, but when it does and it doesn't have the same roots, you're like, oh, well, I can try this out, but I don't know if it's going to hold like the other ones did.
That's
So,
true.
Yep.
yeah.
Well,
So let's hope
yeah.
something new like this can sustain itself because
Yes.
we need new stuff. We need this.
Mm-hmm.
We need stuff like Midnight Texas. We
We
need
do.
stuff like
That show's
Black
so
Lightning.
good.
We need to see all of these things.
Black Lightning is seriously amazing.
Yeah.
It's a really great show.
Yeah, it's
I
one
said,
of my
yeah.
favorites.
No, it's really good though. Like, it's a lot about family and it's like, it's just, it's
Acceptance, self-acceptance.
Yeah, it's very good.
Standing up for...
But yeah, I
rights.
love that we're starting to see a lot more female-centric things like this show and, you know, a female Doctor Who and things like that. So it's really great that things like this can kind of hopefully stay and sustain themselves for a long time.
Yes.
And, you know, especially because Way Hot is really popular and they are relatable for people. And I think that, you know, as long as people like it and continue to watch it, then it'll last.
Well, even the theme song is sung by a woman.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's so...
Like, it was created by a woman.
female-centric.
It was, like, the song is by a woman. The lead people are women. Like, it's just, it's very female-centric.
It's really nice.
It is
Yeah.
very refreshing.
Yeah.
Because you don't see enough of that. You see a lot of it, but not enough of it.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the last time we saw that, like, in its full capacity was probably Charmed.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe not. I don't know. But that's just what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm excited for season 3 and what's
Yes.
to come. And, yeah, that's all I got.
If you guys have any questions for us about anything too, go ahead and ask. I mean, obviously we have opinions. So
Yeah.
So comment and tweet at us, and we will respond.
You are welcome to comment, and you're welcome to tweet on our channel, twitter.com/5starspoils.
It'll be in the description.
Yes, because I always add it, and so.
We can even do reaction videos where you watch it with us for the very first time, because if you would have seen our reactions, I was like, wait, why are they so close? What's going on? And they're just like, oh, did you not see season 2? And I'm like, I did, but I must have forgotten this part. And so
I think reaction videos are becoming like really big right now, because a lot of people like to see how somebody's going to react to something.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, if you guys want us to do that, just throw out ideas, and we'll try to add them into what we're already doing if we can.
Yes. And we're going to start asking you guys on Twitter like the day of, because we know that most of you guys who watch this channel are an hour or more ahead of us. So tweet at us questions.
I know we did get a notification on our Outpost one, so thank goodness we're still getting comments, but yeah.
Because we don't usually post in the summer. But
see, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
It's really hot during the summer here. We don't want to do anything.
Right?
But yeah, so if you guys will generally be seeing the episode before us, so tweet at us questions or comments that you might want answered for the review, and we will do so.
We can even do like a series or some type of video like this, but discuss like who do you think could have played the part better, or what music would you have liked to see, and different things like that. Anything to kind of get a discussion going, because
those are fun.
Yeah, it's always nice to see what could have worked. So it's
like for this episode, I love all the music in Wynonna.
Yeah, I know, so do I.
But for this episode, nothing caught my attention. Like every episode, there's always a song.
I think
the
last song kind of caught my attention. In this episode, like the last song that was playing, like with the whole car, when the car accident thing happened.
Yeah.
That song, like, really kind of, like, I turned and I kind of was, like, really focused on it.
See, now that's something we didn't talk about that I think we should before we finish. That scene pulled everything. Yeah. It grabbed your attention. It had slow motion. The music was good. It literally made you think, what the hell is going to happen?
Right.
It was
I was going,
is
Waverly going to survive? Is Waverly going to survive?
And then you see her getting dragged out at the end.
And
what if it's Willa? What if it's Bobo? Who is taking Waverly?
Right.
And then in the preview, we saw that Waverly was, like, chained up to a wall. To, like, she was...
to the wall.
Sorry. It was totally Nicole that did that.
So yeah, I mean, I think I love when shows are able to take the music and just completely make it fit in with what is happening in the scene.
Exactly.
And I think that there's certain shows that just do that so well. And sometimes there's ones that don't and just kind of randomly throw them in there. But for the most part, with television shows, they do a really good job of it. And so, yeah, that song really grabbed my attention. That whole scene, like she was saying, was amazing. And
it was done really well.
Yeah, it was.
I loved it.
It really was.
Like, seriously, it was the one, like, I questioned everything in the episode. I mean, I was down for the plot. I kind of liked the idea, but at the same time, it's like, I just wanted more. And then the way that it ended, I was like, it was amazing. That whole scene, the way that it was shot, the way that it was done, the slow motion, the objects
I remember,
that they were zoomed in on, everything.
I remember not completely, like, paying attention. Like, I saw them in the car and everything, but then, like, when that happened, I think I kind of missed, like, the whole accident. And then, like, it zoomed in and you hear the music and you see the slow motion, and I was like, okay, whoa, I'm totally focusing on that. Yeah. So it was like, it just kind of, you know, completely made you aware.
It encompassed your whole
like, it completely made you aware of what was happening in the moment.
And I think another reason that is because it was tied to an information reveal.
Right.
So we were going to, like, she's going to tell Waverly something about the mom, which we already know.
And then it happened.
But then the accident happened. And it's just one more thing that Waverly doesn't know. And
Yeah.
not only that, but she's getting taken away from Wynonna, so she doesn't get to know even more.
Right.
And what if the person who's taking her is tied to the information she was just about to get?
Yeah.
So
and like the whole thing that she's probably chained up in the next episode. She doesn't know, like, adding on to the things she doesn't know, is Wynonna okay?
Yeah. She doesn't know if her sister's okay. We think that maybe she will be. I mean, obviously, Dolls and Doc saves her from everything. But
and the show is Wynonna Earp.
Yeah. But still, it's like, I don't know, that scene was done really well.
It was.
What did you guys think of it? I mean, did you notice anything that stuck out more to you that you think might reveal who took Waverly? I mean, when they were flying through the car, it zoomed up on like a necklace, and there were different items. Even without thinking about that, like when she was getting drug away, there was blood. Of course, there was a car accident, but it's like, how severe was this accident? Because there seemed to be a lot. And
then she dropped the like handkerchief or napkin or something.
I mean, if it was the necklace that Waverly's been wearing, like for the last 2 seasons, you know, the one that Wynonna was trying to get back at the beginning of 2, and that's when she saw dolls and everything. Like, if it's that necklace, then I think it just has a lot of symbolism in terms of like who gave it to her, why it's so important to her, things like that.
Right.
Kind of like if the necklace was lost, was that tie severed?
Right.
It makes me wonder a lot.
Yeah. So yeah. Any questions, comments, whatever you have for us, put it down in the comments. Tweet them at us. We will respond.
I mean, I don't know how many of you guys watch Wynonna Earp, but if you do, please check us out on here with our reviews and
It's a really great show. If you haven't seen it, go to Netflix and binge it before they take it off. They probably won't, but they are kind of famous for doing that.
They are. They really are.
Watch it while you can.
Yes.
Yeah, and stay tuned for next week. We'll be doing another review of this show for episode 2. And yeah, you get the outpost on Tuesday. And
thank you for watching.
Bunch of Comic-Con coverage.
Thanks for watching.
So thanks for
for subscribing and commenting and sharing and all that great stuff.
Yes. Yeah. And so until next time, keep sending those revenants to hell.